$233 million. Poof, gone just like that.
Wow.
We are diving into a story today of a truly mind-blowing cryptocurrency heist.
Yeah.
And this was pulled off from one incredibly unlucky person.
Really?
We've got court documents, we've got articles, we've got the whole shebang.
Wow, that's impressive.
Are you ready to unpack this with me?
Absolutely. This is going to be fascinating. I can already tell.
Okay, so picture this. August 19th, 2024, our victim.
Okay.
We know that they were a creditor of the now bankrupt crypto firm, Genesis.
Wow.
And this person is at home, just minding their own business. Probably thought they were being super smart and cautious by having their funds in a Bitcoin Core wallet, which is, known for its security.
Right. Yeah. Bitcoin Core wallets are essentially like a standalone program that you install on your computer to manage your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they're considered to be one of the safest ways to actually store your Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Because your private keys are stored directly on your device.
Gotcha.
Not on some online server. Right. But as we're going to see in this story, even the most secure systems can be vulnerable to human error.
100%. So this unsuspecting victim, they get a call. Caller ID shows it's Google support seems legit, right?
Seems totally legit.
That's the brilliance of spoofed phone numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Criminals can make it look like they're calling from anywhere.
Right.
One of their favorite tools for social engineering attacks.
Yeah, they're really good at it these days.
So the scammers sweet talk their way in.
Okay.
They access the victim's Gmail and iCloud accounts. They say, oh, we're just doing some routine security checks.
Right.
But that was just the first domino to fall. They needed more than just email access to pull this off.
Okay.
Their target was the victim's cryptocurrency holdings, specifically the 4,064 Bitcoin tucked away in that Bitcoin Core wallet.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So how do they get their hands on those private keys? I mean, that's the whole point of the Bitcoin Core wallet, right? It's supposed to be that super secure offline storage.
Right. Yeah. That's where the real ingenuity of this attack comes in.
Okay.
So first, they needed to get the victim into that Bitcoin Core wallet.
Okay.
So they hit him with another call.
Oh.
This time, pretending to be support from the Gemini cryptocurrency exchange.
Wait, so they impersonated Google and Gemini.
They did.
These guys were bold.
Incredibly bold.
And effective. They spun this elaborate tale about a fake hack on Gemini.
Jeez.
Making the victim panic, urging them to take immediate action to protect their funds.
Right.
Of course, that action was all part of their plan.
Of course it was.
So they tricked the victim into resetting their two-factor authentication, sending 74.22 Bitcoin straight to a compromised wallet.
Oh.
I mean, that's a hefty chunk of change already.
That is.
But the real prize was still waiting in the wings.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They convinced the victim to download AnyDesk.
AnyDesk.
Which is a remote desktop application.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is crucial. With AnyDesk, the scammers could see everything happening on the victim's screen.
Oh, wow.
Just as if they were sitting right there at the computer.
Yeah.
That's how they got the private key to the Bitcoin Core wallet, right?
Probably.
The victim probably had it written down somewhere, or maybe they typed it in while the scammers were watching.
Bingo. They basically turned the victim's own computer against them.
Oh, man.
It's a chilling reminder that even the most sophisticated security measures can be bypassed if you give someone access to your device.
100%. So private key in hand, they drained that Bitcoin Core wallet.
Wow.
All 4,064 Bitcoin, worth around $238 million at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Boom, heist complete.
And the thing is, they pulled this off with relative ease.
Yeah.
This entire operation, from the first phone call to the final transfer, happened within a matter of hours.
Wow.
Really highlights the speed and sophistication of these cyber criminals.
For sure, they knew exactly what they were doing and they executed their plan flawlessly.
Yeah. It's scary how good they are.
So who are these digital masterminds?
Well, our main players are three young guys.
Okay.
They went by the online aliases Greaves, Wiz, and Box.
Wait, young guys, how young are we talking?
Young Greaves, his real name is Malone Lam. He was only 20 at the time.
Wow.
Wiz, Veer Cheadle, was just 19, and Box, Jean-Deal Serrano, was 21.
It's mind-boggling to think that people so young could orchestrate such a complex heist.
I know, it really is.
It's like something out of a movie.
Totally.
So what do we know about these guys?
Well, Lam, or Greaves, seemed to live a pretty flashy lifestyle.
Okay.
At least based on his social media presence.
Yeah.
We're talking luxury cars, designer clothes, high-end watches, the whole 9 yards.
So not exactly trying to keep a low profile.
Not at all. And that, my friend, is a classic mistake that criminals make.
What's that?
That urge to flaunt their ill-gotten gains.
Right.
It's often what trips them up in the end.
Yeah. For sure, it makes you wonder what makes them do it. Like, what's the psychology there?
It really does.
What about the other two?
Well, Wiz, or Veer Cheadle, is an interesting case. It turns out he attended Harvard's Future Lawyers program the year before the heist.
Hold on, a future lawyer turned cyber criminal. That's a twist.
It is.
What do you make of that?
It's certainly intriguing. It makes you wonder what leads a young person with seemingly bright prospects down such a dark path.
Yeah.
Was it the allure of easy money, the thrill of the challenge, or something else entirely?
And what about Box? Jean Del Serrano. What was his role in all of this?
He seems to have been the voice on the phone, the one impersonating Gemini support.
Okay.
It highlights the effectiveness of vishing, that's voice phishing, as a social engineering tactic.
Makes sense.
People are often more willing to trust a voice on the phone than a written message.
Right. So after they pulled off this massive heist, what did they do? Did they try to, disappear into the shadows?
Not exactly remember Lam's love for the high life. Well, he and Serrano went on a bit of a spending spree after the heist.
What did they buy?
Pretty much anything you can imagine. Luxury goods, expensive cars, watches, you name it.
Wow.
They weren't exactly subtle about it either. They linked their dirty crypto funds.
Their dirty crypto funds?
With funds they wanted to keep private on centralized exchanges, basically creating a trail for investigators to follow.
That doesn't sound very smart.
Not at all. It was a rookie mistake that would come back to haunt them.
So how did they get caught? Someone must have noticed all this extravagant spending, right?
Well, that's part of it, but they also made another crucial mistake.
Okay.
They accidentally doxed themselves.
What?
There was this video circulating online, a screen recording of them celebrating after the heist.
Oh, no.
And guess what? They accidentally revealed their Windows usernames in the recording.
Seriously, that's almost comical.
It might sound ridiculous, but that seemingly insignificant detail was a goldmine for investigators.
Oh, wow. Enter ZachXBT, the crypto sleuth extraordinaire.
Exactly. ZachXBT was already on the case, meticulously tracing the flow of the stolen Bitcoin. With those usernames, he was able to connect the dots, identify all three culprits, and publish his findings online.
So this independent investigator basically cracked the case wide open.
Pretty much, it's a testament to the growing importance of these online investigators in the crypto space.
For sure.
They often move faster and are more agile than traditional law enforcement when it comes to tracking digital crimes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what happened next? Did the authorities swoop in and arrest everyone?
They did. Law enforcement agencies, armed with ZachXBT's findings, and assistance from Binance's security team, were able to freeze over $9 million in assets. They even managed to return $500,000 to the victim.
That's something at least, but what about the perpetrators?
On September 18th, 2024, just a month after the heist, Lam and Serrano were arrested.
Wow.
They were each caught in their respective cities, and Serrano was even wearing a $500,000 watch at the time of his arrest.
Wow, talk about irony.
Right!
So they're behind bars now facing justice.
They're facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering, which could land them in prison for a very long time.
But wait, there were three of them? Right? What about Veer Cheadle, the future lawyer turned hacker?
That's where things get even more interesting. As of now, Cheadle hasn't been publicly charged with any crime related to the heist.
How is that possible? ZachXBT identified him as one of the perpetrators.
He did, and that's what makes this case so intriguing. There's a lot we still don't know about Cheadle's involvement.
Okay.
Was he a willing participant in the heist, or was he, as some speculate, an unwitting accomplice, perhaps manipulated by Lam and Serrano?
And then there's that carjacking incident involving Cheadle's parents just a week after the heist. That can't be a coincidence, can it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this carjacking. What actually happened?
Well, Cheadle's parents were driving their brand new Lamborghini Urus.
Oh, wow.
We're talking a $230,000 plus car in Danbury, Connecticut, when suddenly they were rear-ended by a Honda Civic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a deliberate hit designed to force them to stop.
And then what happened?
A van pulls up, three guys jump out, and they start assaulting the parents.
Oh, my God.
Witnesses said they saw the whole thing.
Wow.
It was a brazen attack in broad daylight.
Jeez.
They forced the parents into the van and took off.
Sounds terrifying. Did the police catch them?
Oh, yeah. Local police gave chase. The van crashed, and the suspects fled on foot, but they were all apprehended pretty quickly.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. All 6 of the perpetrators were from Florida.
Florida? That seems like an awfully long way to go to carjack someone in Connecticut.
Exactly. And remember, this is all happening just days after that $243 million crypto heist.
Right.
Now, the criminal complaint doesn't explicitly name the Chittles, but it does say the victims were targeted because the co-conspirators believed their son had access to significant amounts of cryptocurrency.
So these guys thought they were going to get a big crypto ransom.
That seems to be the theory. They believe Veer Cheadle was the mastermind behind the heist, and that his parents could lead them to the stolen Bitcoin.
But here's the thing. Veer Cheadle has never been publicly charged with any crime. So was this a case of mistaken identity? Did these Florida guys just get the wrong guy?
That's a question investigators are trying to answer, but ZachXBT, our crypto sleuth, did some digging and found evidence that Cheadle did receive a sizable chunk of the stolen Bitcoin.
So the carjackers might have been right.
It's possible, but remember, even though ZachXBT's findings are compelling, they don't necessarily prove Cheadle's guilt in a court of law.
His whole thing is so confusing. What do you think really happened?
Well, there are a few possibilities.
Okay.
One is that Cheadle was indeed a willing participant in the heist, and the carjackers were acting on accurate information, hoping to extort more money from him.
What's another possibility?
It's also possible that Cheadle was manipulated or coerced by Lam and Serrano. Maybe they used their friendship or Cheadle's desire to be part of their in-crowd to get him involved.
So he could be both a victim and a perpetrator.
Exactly. And then there's the possibility that the carjackers had bad information.
Right.
Maybe they heard rumors about Cheadle's connection to the heist and jumped to conclusions.
This case has more twists and turns than a pretzel. So where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, as of right now, Lam and Serrano are awaiting trial. The authorities are still investigating Cheadle's involvement, and it's possible he could face charges in the future.
And what about that carjacking crew?
They're facing serious charges too, kidnapping, assault, the whole 9 yards.
It's a wild story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What are some of the key takeaways from all of this?
Well, for starters, it shows just how vulnerable we all are in this digital age. Even if you think you're taking precautions, you can still fall victim to a well-orchestrated social engineering attack.
It's a good reminder to always be questioning, verifying, and never giving out sensitive information over the phone or online unless you are absolutely sure who you're dealing with.
Absolutely. This case also highlights the crucial role of independent investigators like ZachXBT in the crypto space.
Yeah.
They're often the ones who connect the dots and bring these criminals to justice.
And it makes you think about the psychology of these young hackers. What drives them to risk everything for a quick fortune? Is it greed, ambition? A sense of invincibility?
It's probably a combination of factors, and as we see more and more of these cases, it's a question we need to keep asking.
Right.
Because understanding their motivations is key to preventing future crimes.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about. It's like a real-life thriller with twists and turns you wouldn't believe.
It is, and it shows that the world of cryptocurrency, while exciting and full of opportunity, is also a bit of a Wild West.
Yeah.
Where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, and where the lines between right and wrong can sometimes get blurry.
So to our listeners, what do you think? Did these young hackers get what they deserved? And what will become of Vera Chettle? We'll have to wait and see how this story unfolds, but one thing's for sure, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for any updates. Until next time, stay safe out there in the digital world.